Okay, so say we want to start graphing trig functions, and say I want to start graphing with sine of x. So I know what sine of x is for my unit circle. If I draw out my unit circle, I have an x, a y, and my unit circle goes to the point 1, 0, and then it's a circle. It goes to the point 0, 1, through the point -1, 0, and through the point 0, -1. So unit circle is a circle, so and the radius of 1. And I can get sine from the unit circle. We talked about this before, that it goes cos sine. So sine is my y value of my unit circle. And I can find my y value of all these points. I can find my y value where my distance is pi over 6. I can find my y value where my distance is pi over 4. I can find my y value where my distance is pi over 3, and I can keep doing that. And I can go all the way around this circle to where my distance is 2 pi. Once I hit 2 pi again, I've completed a circle. I'm going to just be starting over again. And sine is just y values of these unit circles. So let's see if we can draw this out. We're going to try to draw one period of sine graph. So I'm going to start off at 0 because my distance in a unit circle starts at 0. And at 0, my y value is 0. So I'm going to start 0, 0. And I'm not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 like I usually do on a x-axis because I don't know what sine of 1 is or what sine of 2 is. I know what sine of pi over 6 is. I know what sine of pi over 4 is. Pi over 6 is that point square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. Pi over 4 is the point square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. So I can use those points, and I can use those distances. So let's see, pi over 6 would be closer, pi over 4, then pi over 3, then I'm going to get to pi over 2. I'm going to mark some of these. Then I would go down the other way, and I would get 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 6, and then I would get to pi. And I can find some of these values pretty easy. I know that at pi over 2, my y is 1. So sine of pi over 2 is just 1. So my y-axis, I'll still just tabulate normally. I'll still just tabulate 1 and -1. Does it look like my sine graph ever gets higher than 1? And not really. My y in my unit circle never really goes above 1. And my y's here are increasing, right? So you can tell here, my y's are going up as I go around this unit circle. So my y's should be going up as I go around that unit circle. Okay, so what about at pi? At pi, my y is 0, so my sine of pi is 0. And here, my y's would be decreasing. They'd still be positive, but they would be decreasing. So that. Keep going. If I do 3 pi over 2, which is down here, at 3 pi over 2, my sine is -1, so all the way down there. And over here, my y values are decreasing. They're in the negatives, and they're going down. So my y values are in the negative and going down. And I'm going to keep going all the way back, in fact, to 2 pi. So I get one entire circle out of this. So I go one entire time around the unit circle. Okay, so at 2 pi, I'm back to 0. And if I look at the area between here, my sine, my y's are increasing. They're still negative, but they're going up. So I'm going to draw that out. So this is what a period of a sine graph looks like. A period of a sine graph, just regular sine of x, always has, so I'll move this up a little bit, always has 1 and -1. And it always goes to 2 pi. I'm going to just draw 2 pi a little shorter. Crosses the x-axis again at pi. Halfway between them is when it gets to its highest, and halfway between them is when it gets to its lowest, at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. This is one period of sine, and at 0 pi and 2 pi, it's at 0. We can draw more than one period of sine. If I went around that unit circle again, then it would have done the exact same thing. 2 pi would have been my new 0. At the new pi, which would be 3 pi, it would hit 0 again. The new 2 pi, which would have been 4 pi, it would have hit 0 again. It would have just gone up to 1, down to -1. So sine is a repeating function. So usually all we do is draw out one period of it. Once I have one period of it drawn out, I've drawn a sine graph. So a period is 2 pi, because it doesn't start repeating until I get to that 2 pi again.